All right, killers. It's 9:59. It's time to get serious. But before we get serious, I had a little bit of a thing. I completely botched my mic setup. There we go. We did a little bit of a thing. I respect hard. It's been a long time coming. I've been feeling it as we've been playing. Trying not to say it, you know. We've needed to respec for a while. Part of Median is respecking. I don't mean you're respecking your entire build, but statistically, you're going to eventually hit a point like I did where you just got to do it. And why would you do that? Well, the big one that happens to me is always, you know, you're statting to gear, you're putting dex in to get your attack rating high, or something changes, you don't like the way it's feeling. So we've done a little bit of a change. Nothing is fundamentally that different, so I'll talk about it before we do Valthek. Okay, so I put every single point I have into strength to get that 11k and 9k on Parasite. That may seem like it's a bad idea, but look at my life total. It's not. I'll show you why in a second. We're still using the same gear, but I have made some jaw runes. I put 6 of these in there. 15% enhanced damage per jaw rune. There's no level cap. I was right. It was like, it's just jaw, 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 jaw. Cool. And of course, scaling with that, so you get that nice 11k. So that's pretty cool. I wasn't really getting that much of a benefit from the life leech on this anyways, since we already get life percent for hit, and we also have it on every other jewel, so it's not a big loss. I've already tested it out in a few places. It's alright. I think it's jaw runes, which are the upgraded jaw runes. Those are at 20% enhanced damage. I don't have any of those, obviously, so yeah, because when you start getting all these charms, you start to get a lot of liquid stats that start to enhance your attack rating. You can see we're still at 32k attack rating. That's pretty much fine. I haven't even noticed any substantial difference in my honest opinion. So skill tree wise, I'm going to try and max out embalming, because embalming is giving us a massive life bonus. It's basically just better in terms of putting points into vitality because we get so little. I split famine and Death Ward down the middle. Probably going to keep it that way if I'm honest. For melee, I didn't put on Blight Descent. I didn't really find it really that important. I took off all the points in Ominous Vigor because we don't actually block, and plus the liquid stats from this are better supplanted with charms, so it's probably not a big deal. The poison extra is really not that big of a deal, by the way. And I put 1 point into Demonic Commune since we have all the charms as well. Zesty's gonna go yell at his mom outside. Melee Devotion still on there. I put 1 point into Tenacity. That's just always a good thing to have. And of course, I actually took off Graveyard. It really wasn't really doing a whole lot for me, if I'm honest. And I maxed Rothma's Chosen and just put 1 point into Talon's Hole for the slow. I'm not really in it for the reanimates, just for the slow. What else did I do? I did something else. We might as well show this off. I'll probably just make this a separate video. You'll get to see Valthek in the next one. This is a shorty. How short is short to Seth? That's the real question. Alright, so I still have all this old shit gear just laying around. You can see I actually started doing this off camera. Believe me, it's not that exciting. Because I started to get angelic items. Yay! So I really want to try and craft these into something good, and I just realized this. Hang on. There. Much better. Better. So I got the Soul Forge. Now, this is used for modifying angelics and rares and uniques. You can craft sacreds with this, but it's really fucking expensive. How this works is, first, let's plop it in our cube and I'll show you all about it. Okay? So I haven't really worked with this a lot, but let's say we have a diamond. This doesn't consume the diamonds, by the way. That's just what it tells the game it wants to do. So I'll put it in simple terms. I don't have any souls to use, but whatever. Okay. So to modify it, we just change with middle mouse for me, transmute it. So this is how you craft a unique, I guess. This is a good way to put it. So for one, I don't know what the hell these are. I've never used these, but it's interesting. So it's a good example of how it would work, right? So you'd need an oil of craft, which we have, the red ones, and then you'd need souls. So this is, if you look at the top effect, that's the formula you need, right? So if you want to make Faithless, I don't know what that is. It's some shitty Assassin's Claw item. You'll need 2 oils of craft and 20 souls. Or if you want to make Raven Mantle, 120. I don't think you can modify, or you can't craft Sacreds or anything. It's just those 2, I'm pretty sure, for now. Maybe it'll get updated in the future. It's new to me. I haven't really played around with this. Yeah. So if we have, let's say, what do we want? Let's say, I don't know. We'll just say whatever this is. So we'll have a sapphire. So if you look at the top, if you want to make changes to an item's suffixes and prefixes, what you do is you look at those formulas and you say, okay, I want Life Leech, okay? So you take Life Leech formula, which is 3 oils of craft, 1 soul, and you put it on the weapon and you transmute it with, this is going to be a sapphire, and that's how you do it. So you'd get the weapon prefix of 10% Life Leech on a weapon as a modifier. But you can't change everything at once. I'm pretty sure you can only change a handful of things. I haven't fiddle-diddled with this too much. I'm only doing it for angelics for a good reason. So I'll show you guys how angelic items work. They can't be renewed. You can't shrine-craft these, but they have really ridiculously high stats. You need a lot of strength to wear this shit. And how do you get these? You do this in the heroic or 125 versions of Library of Fate. I can kind of do it. I didn't really die. I only died to like 1 Zacharium avatar. There's more. I'll just show it to you. Why not? We'll just show you how this works. This is the episode where Seth shows you how this works. All right? And plus it shows you how much stronger this character actually is. So we take our Zacharium's Ear, and you transmute 2 perfect gems to get the 125 portal. So when you go in there, you clear the area out and you take 2 angelic item tiers. They drop quite frequently. I actually just took the armors for myself. I didn't need the weapons. There's no size or anything. And then I took those, and then you put 2 in there with the ear, and it generates a portal. So I'll show you how this works. So this might as well just be Heroic Library of Fate before I do Valthek, because I'm just fucking biting my teeth at this. I'll tell you why I'm not doing that right now. I actually fell asleep almost halfway through it, and I was fucking up constantly. I was so tired yesterday. Alright, so this is the 130 version of Library of Fate. I'm already getting harassed. That's great. So you can see my defense is fine. I'm not really worried about defense. I think we're actually doing just fine. So I don't have to cast, what's it called, very often anymore. So you can see we're starting to get some items. There's more monsters. The density's better. So 125 versus 135 is just, there's a higher roll for angelics by a quarter. And there's also, there's different monsters that you can get. There's like dudes with swords. Anarius is defense. See, this is also something that it adds to. So the Zacharium's avatars are going to start casting this black hole. I don't know what that skill is actually called. They can also turn invincible for a few seconds. That's actually a skill on quite a bit of paladin gear. Yeah, these guys are new. Oriel's Griffin. So like, oh, you shit. I actually forgot to mention this. So you know how we have Mega Impact, right? on our sides. So a lot of paladin-based items actually have what's called Amazing Grace. It used to be called something else. I don't remember what that is, but yeah, see, like right here, there's an Angelic Scepter. You can toggle your loot filter to have it on there if you want. It's not a tier for some reason. I wish they changed that, but yeah, you can get these. There's a handful of things they can do. They all have pretty high stats. They're really good for melee characters, but not me specifically. Go figure. But yeah, if you ever notice how we have mega impacts, paladins, I mean, you can get non-paladin gear. I've actually found a few items with my Amazon that had it. It's called Amazing Grace. The Atlantean, not Atlantean, because I know that's a sword in Vanilla D2. It's like the Legendarium or something like that. Oh, there's an Angelic Crossbow. See, if you're playing as Crossbow Necker, this is great. But we ain't. So, yeah, you can see this is very lethal. You don't want to stand in that shit. It's still equally as dangerous as Vanilla. And yeah, everything, by the way, in here is a little bit more resistant to things like Life Leech. I keep fucking this up. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is Amazing Grace actually gives you, I think it's a second of invincibility when it procs off. It's not very common. I don't think you can control it, much like I can't control, like, when Mega Impact goes off, you just see the curse go off on enemies. But that's pretty much what that's all about. So, keep in mind, the enemies in here are actually resistant to Life Leech. They also have much higher defense. So, if we're tearing ass through here, that should be a pretty good metric of how much harder we can go in terms of damage. You know, it's been a long time coming. I've needed to probably respec since probably like 130, if I'm honest. I was rolling around the idea of when to do it and why to do it and tell people how to do it. I just used 2 extracts. I actually just recently, like right before this, changed a few things on my stat roll. But everything's going into strength from now on. And our dump stats are going to be into... Oh shit. Yeah, oh shit's a great skill. It's going to go straight into... fucking hell. That was too close. See, this is a little more risky. So what is the ultimate goal of this, I have to mention? We're trying to get this thing called Heroic Souls. And, see, I'll just show you the stats on these when I leave, so you know what I'm talking about. This isn't a very big area. Shouldn't take me more than a few minutes to clear it out. I can clear the 125 one even faster, for the record. So this is the thing. The souls are random. You can also still get Zakarim's Ear from the avatars. This doesn't lead to Silver City, by the way. This is its own self-contained instance. But, yeah, it's... If you want to get... I've been needing to get around to showing this off. It's pretty important for some builds that make use out of Angelics. I've never really used Angelics, so I have no opinion one way or the other. You can see I got a Zakarim's Ear there. You can't do shit like the Triune... Or sorry, Anarius and shit like that. You can get pretty good items from here. There's I mean, it's Library of Fate, so it naturally has a bias towards sacred items already. So yeah, you can see there's an Angelic Dagger. I'm not really interested in that. Yeah, there we go. I have mine set to, like, the armor, so I can show you the stats on that. So, yeah, it's not really that complicated. My Zon really struggles with this. There's a lot of, I don't know, I just don't know if that character sucks. And I'm just having to come to the realization that the Blood Zons aren't really that good. And, we had our fun. I'll say this, it clears areas really fast, but when it comes to shit like this, it's really not that good. But this character is a hell of a lot more... You know, I haven't even mentioned this. If you think this is busted, I'm telling you, play Unholy Paladin, or even Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin got better from what I understand. Holy Paladin used to be kind of like, yeah, whatever. You'd used to be like, you'd play up to like, when you could switch over to like one or the other, and most people just favored Unholy, but melee characters like that are very, very active in this mod. I'd say Melee Necro is the first time doing it. It's very basic. It's basically just like... I guess you could say it's just basically Zeal, which is fine with me, because I love Zeal in Vanilla D2. It's one of my favorite skills. It's so basic, but when it works, it's fucking awesome. So, you know, I do have a soft spot for this kind of a character. It's basically Zeal with some AoE, if we're being honest. But yeah, we go. We got full helm. I'm amazed. I haven't gotten any souls yet. Usually you get like 1 per run. You're not really ever gonna have any issue with getting angelic items. You can see they do drop quite frequently in this dungeon. You can. I'm pretty sure you can get like a very, very low chance of getting an angelic item, because I did get a war pick when I first played through on my Zon. I was like, what the fuck is this? But I don't think that the chance is high enough to really warrant that. And plus the difficulty isn't very good, and the item rolls aren't going to be as good. So you're better off doing the 125, and then if you can do the 125 comfortably, try the 130, and then try the 130 out and see if you like it. The fact that I'm able to do this very comfortably tells me that we're in a good place. So yeah, that's pretty much this whole jam. I'll show you what the stat rolls are like. They look like little balls, by the way, when you pick them up, the souls. You can also craft them. I can show you in a second, actually. But you can see there's like 10% life leech per hit on this. What else we got? 142 after kill. You know, it's not great damage-wise, but it's alright. There's some 2 on boots, 30%, 30, 23 to all ats, 77 to mana. You know, they're pretty solid items. Like, when you actually get them, they have their own O skills they can roll. You can look on the documentation page as well for, like, what they can all roll. But you can't use shrines on them, so that's why I'm trying to get, like, a really good grip of these round up. This is my first boots. I'm so proud. Yeah, so, like, they're good. You know, they're... If you want to play that game, there's quite a few that you can make use out of. There's like +6 to +10 skills, I think, on some of these items. At least +6 I know for a fact. Actually, let me just check over here. I can show you what I'm talking about. So if we go over here on the documentation, we type in item affixes, and then we go down to found on Angelics armors. Actually, how about we just do this? Skill. And then we'll just... It shows it on here if I type in skill. Alright. And then we go to plus to skills, and we look at the highest. It goes up to Druid Stabs, no joke. Yeah, it's +10 to 11. I wasn't kidding. Stabs are actually good in this mod. They're on here somewhere. It shows you how freaking high they get. Yeah, there we go. See, look how much a one-handed caster weapon Angelic is? It's +6. Like, that's nuts. Like, if you want to get really technical and hardcore and try to find, like, a really good item, it's going to be on those. I just have this many so I can modify them as I please and see what I want to do. And I'll show you what the souls look like in a second. I'll put this crap away. Getting away with it. So, yeah. So that's how Heroic Library of Fate works. And I'll show you what the other stuff is, too. So yeah, here's my Amazon for a good example, because I know I have some with me. Yeah, Crate of Souls. You just craft it. Get this. No, get this crap out of here. This is better. I'm so happy that I did that. And you just transmute it. And then you can see a cube with an oil of enchantment. Or sorry, enhancement. When you get one, you can make a soul forge. And then you can use these. They're pretty... Like, I don't know the exact rate at which they drop. I'm sure you could look it up and you could find it somewhere. But for the most part, it's not that uncommon. I've only found like 3 on that character. But that's also because my Zon doesn't really clear it that well. Because it's really fucking brutal. I don't know why. But it's fine. I'll figure it out eventually on that. So, yeah, I guess I'll show you guys the respec and figure I do that before we do Valfex. So, yay. I'll see you then. We're gonna go kill Valfex. It's gonna be super duper.